name is Aaron Poland. I'm the President, CEO, and founder of Spartan Claims. Today is February 12th, 2018. We're doing episode 7, Contractor Selection. On our last episode, we talked about the difference between actual cash value, replacement cost, and depreciation. And today we're going to be talking a little bit about selecting a general contractor or a contractor to help you with your restoration. A couple things we're going to talk about. The first thing you need to do is determine what type of contractor you need. Remember, just because your insurance company says that you need a contractor before they come out to do the inspection, that's not always the case, and it can be a setup to try to hook you up with one of their preferred vendors to minimize the overall cost to them by what we like to refer to as dangling a carrot over over a select couple of contractors that are suckers and they're willing to be punching bags just to get some free referrals from the insurance company. So just be careful of that. Before we get anything, we'll preface this by saying, generally speaking, it's not a real good idea to go with one of the contractors that the carrier suggests. But anyway, moving forward, let's talk about what kind of damages you have and what kind of restoration you're going to be getting into. Is it just a roof? Do you have interior and exterior? Is it a major restoration? Do you have a flood? Do you have a fire? Is it a tornado with a lot of damage that needs to be fixed? Be careful with those. I see a lot of roofing contractors that come out and they try to get involved in fires or tornadoes, and it just gets a little overwhelming for them. Those projects tend to be a mess. They run over budget, or they end up whining about not having enough money or something like that. So do a little bit of research. Make sure that they're qualified to do a large loss if you do in fact have a large loss. If it's just a roof, go find a roofer. You don't necessarily have to have a general contractor for a roofer, although I will say getting a true roofer is pretty difficult. Most of the roofers that are out there are actually general contractors because they do specialize in more than just roofs. They will also do gutters and siding. A true roofer is literally going to do roofs only. No gutters, no siding, no fascia, no screens, no nothing. They're just going to do the shingles. Let's talk about what the benefits of actually hiring a general contractor are, opposed to, as a policyholder, going out and hiring the individual tradesman. General contractor is just going to make sure that they coordinate all of the trades coming in. So if you've got roof, siding, gutters, windows, screens, paint, drywall, inside, you're going into like flooring sometimes. If you're doing this as a homeowner or as a business owner that's coordinating all these repairs yourself, I just rattled off 7 trades real quick. You're going to have to make 7 different phone calls, make sure they're all getting there around the same time, they're all on the same page, they're not tripping all over each other. A general contractor is going to take care of all that for you, even if it's something as simple as roof, siding, and gutters, or even just roof and gutters. It's not a bad idea to go out and get a general contractor because you don't want to have your gutters put on before your roof is replaced. They're going to shred those gutters, and you're going to have to get them replaced all over again, or it's going to be a big fight between you and the roofer about, oh, you tore up my gutters. Don't do it. It's just go get you a GC. They'll take care of it all. Also, most of the general contractors, at least in this market here in central Indiana, they're very well versed in the claims process. So they're going to be able to help you navigate through that if you're not dealing with the public adjuster, or if you don't have an attorney or somebody that's helping you go through the process. A general contractor is going to be able to really hold your hand through that process. When we're talking about general contractors, I usually just have a couple words of caution. Beware the fly-by-nighters or the storm chasers. Not all of them are bad. There's actually some really good ones out there that they work nationwide. They come in all over the place. They follow the weather. Hailstorm hits, Indianapolis, or hailstorm hits Denver, or hailstorm hits Houston or Dallas or whatever. They're going to mobilize. And this is what they do for a living. They go from city to city to city. They set up shop. Some of them end up setting up permanent locations. Some of them, they use the same crews that a lot of the local guys do. They're not all bad guys. However, there are some really bad ones out there, and we're going to talk about how to find them here in a minute. If you do get one of the fly-by-nighters and it's they're one of the shady guys out there, just be careful. They're only going to be in town for a little bit of time. They're going to come in, work 2, 3, 4 months, maybe 6 at the most. One of the tactics they use is they'll go out and buy burner cell phones from CVS or Walgreens with a local area code. I've even seen some guys go as far as to get their truck's license plate changed out to where they actually have a local license plate on the back. So if they're working in Indiana, they come in here from Oklahoma or Texas, they'll swap them out for Indiana plates. Just be careful with those guys. Those are not what I would call, one of the guys that is one of the good guys. If they got to hide the fact that they're a chaser, they're generally going to, what else are they hiding? They're going to have something else to hide. So if they're going to come in from, the good chasers are going to come in, they're going to say, hey, we're a nationwide company. We're all over the place. We're here to help you get through this catastrophe and we'll get out of here. In the same breath, beware some of the local contractors too. I mean, just because they're local does not mean they're awesome. A lot of the local guys, not a lot of them, but there are some from time to time, they will go years. They'll skate through it. They've got less than scrupulous practices for years, and then eventually they get caught, and then they get run out of town, or the attorney general starts hounding them or whatever. I'm not going to name any specific names, but there's currently a big deal going on right now. One state to our west in Illinois. Google it if you want. I'm not going to get into those details, but be careful. A lot of the Secretary of State's attorney generals will help kind of back up you going through this process to make sure you're not getting a shady contractor. But just bear with me. Understand, not all local contractors are awesome. Some of them are turds, and they can be pretty bad. So in order to find out which ones are going to be good for you, check their credentials. Make sure they're licensed, make sure they're bonded, make sure they're insured. If they require a general contractor's license where you're living or where your property is, make sure that these guys have got that general contractor license and they are going to be willing to give it to you. I know with public adjusters, anytime we're asked for our license, we're required to say, here's our license. Yeah, boo-boo, stick your head in doo-doo. We have a license, get over it. Same thing with us, we're required to be bonded. General contractors still required to be bonded as well. If you want to ask for a bond, ask for it. And then obviously you want to make sure that they have insurance. You don't want a bunch of guys out there working on your property if they're not insured. Workman's comp, the whole 9 yards. While you're going through all this stuff, check out the social media. Social media is going to be your friend. Make sure that they're very reputable online. Facebook, Google. I don't know if Yelp's a thing for contractors. I don't know if that's, I personally have never dealt with it. Google and Facebook seem to be the two big ones. Make sure that they have good, solid reputations on social media, but not too reputable. And a lot of people go, oh, why did you say that? If I've got a contractor out there and the guy's got 500 reviews and they're all 5-star on Facebook, something doesn't pass the smell test. Because the one thing that we all need to understand is that all contractors will screw something up. Every single one of them is going to screw something up. We screw stuff up. It's not a fact of them being impervious to making errors. It's how they fix their mistakes is what's going to separate them from the bad guys or the turds in the industry. Guy comes out, crushes a gutter, blames you or your dog for crushing the gutter. That's somebody you don't really want to mess with. Guy comes out, crushes gutter while putting a roof on. Gutters weren't paid for and they're not part of the process. And then they offer to come out and replace the gutter, or some of them even go so far as to replace all the gutters on the house to match. That's a good guy. That's somebody that's actually going to earn that. You get on Google, they've got 200 5-star reviews. I have a hard time believing that. I mean, you can go look us up on Facebook. I think we're at 4.8. One homeowner got butthurt about something that had to do with his contractor, blamed us for it, and at the end of the day, he gave us a kind of a negative review, but that's okay. We went out of our way to try to solve it, but you can't please everybody all the time. So we try. It happens. Get over it. Also, check out the consumer guides as well. Same rules apply. Don't want too reputable. Make sure that if they have mistakes, they're honest mistakes, and that if they've tried to rectify them, they're in there. The consumer guides that I'm talking about, BBB, Angie's List, although I think it's now Home Advisor. I think Home Advisor bought Angie's List. Be careful with that one, because last time I checked the ratings on there, if you mark it, or I don't know how that goes. Just beware the BBB and Angie's List. They're pretty cool templates and tools to use, but all of these examples can be abused if they're manipulated improperly. So just check those out. Personally, I like to go through the Secretary of State or the Attorney General's office to check and see if if it's a valid business or a valid entity. I caught somebody doing something in my personal house with some concrete. Went to go do some research. Came up it was being administratively dissolved or whatever because he didn't file the paperwork. Honestly, it's a clerical error on his part. It happens. Owning a business, you got to follow that paperwork. He didn't do it. He fixed it, and all was good after that point. So And then most importantly, when you're checking referrals and you're checking reputations, don't forget the people that are around you. Go to work. Talk to people at work that have had work done at their house. If you're in school or you're a teacher, go to school. Ask your classmates, or if you're in college or getting your doctorate, master's, whatever. Go in there and talk to people there. If you go to church and ask your parishioners or your congregation, hey, I've got a claim on my house, because chances are, if it's a catastrophe, we're talking about roof siding, gutters, windows, all that other stuff, it's going to hit a whole area. Generally go to church with people that you live around. So go check out those people, because they're going to be going through this too, and they're going to be asking you too. If somebody does you well, if you do get a contractor in there and he just knocks your sock off, and you are in love with the work that contractor performed, don't be afraid. Spread the love. Let everybody else know that they're so great that you would refer them out. So once you get that kind of going, and you kind of have an idea on which kind of contractor you're looking for, and you've done your research and you've kind of got it pointed down to it, you're going to start calling these guys out. There are a couple of tactics that the sales guys like to use, and I'm probably not going to make a whole lot of friends in the restoration industry today, but I don't care. Just be careful of the guys that come up and their main pitch to you is, we will be the cheapest guy you will talk to in this process. People, restoration contracting is just like everything else in life. You're going to get what you pay for. If somebody wants to sell you the cheapest thing on the planet and that's all you care about, then by all means go and do. Just remember, at the end of the day, your insurance company is only going to pay what it actually costs to repair or replace the damages. If you've got $20,000 worth of an estimate from your insurance company, and you got a contractor coming in saying, I'll do it for 10 grand, put $10,000 in your pocket, they're going to have to submit some documents that show what it actually costs. And if it shows that you only did $10,000, your insurance company is only going to pay up to $10,000. They're not going to give you the extra 10 grand in depreciation if it's recoverable. Keep that in your mind. A lot of people, they think that an insurance claim is a scratch-off ticket. They want to get this loss report back from their insurance company. It's $20,000. They're going to go, oh boy, we're going to make some money. They want to go find the guy that's going to do the cheapest work available, because they think they're going to put 10 grand in their pocket. That is a felony in most states. You cannot profit off of an insurance claim if you're getting all the work done. So if you're working in cahoots with your contractor and he goes, hey, we'll turn in a document that says that we charge 20 grand, you can keep that. We'll split the extra 10 with you. You keep 5, we'll keep 5. We all happy. Bad idea. You're going to jail. Somebody catches you, you're going to jail. And that's not a fun one either. That's a felony with an F, last time I checked. So beware of those guys. And there's a couple other things in here we're going to talk about here in just a second. But the way that, if you haven't picked a contractor and a big event comes through your house, you're going to be hit with a lot of different sales guys. They're going to be knocking on your door. We like to call them canvassers. They're going to be sending out mailers in your mailbox. Your door is going to have them. It's going to look like these guys are running for Congress in your neighborhood. You're going to see yard signs all over the place. You're going to see them on TV. You're going to see them on radio. You're going to see them on social media. It's going to be all in your Facebook feed. A lot of them are going to pitch this to you. Don't fall for it. They cannot eat your deductible. Period. In Indiana, it is a crime for the contractor to eat your absorb, rebate, credit, coupon, no contest. Here's a roof in an AR-15. I saw that competition last year. Guys giving around guns every time you put a roof on. Sounds cool? Can't do it. Not in Indiana. See, a lot of times they'll give you a 55-inch flat screen TV and $500 cash if you buy a roof. Can't do it. Here, I'll give you $500. You let me put a sign in your yard. Can't do it. How they can offer you a referral bonus though. So if they hand you a stack of business cards, they go, hey, take some of my cards and throw them out to all your friends and neighbors and tell them that I sent you. You do that and then give you whatever they want at that point. But any of the rebating that goes towards offsetting your deductible, that's no bueno. They cannot do that. Keep in mind, there is a difference between absorbing or eating a deductible and subbing back work, or what I like to call sweat equity. If you've got roof siding, gutters, screens, and a little room of interior drywall or whatever, you've got it all settled out with your insurance company. A guy comes in and says, hey, we just want to do your roof siding and gutters. And you go, hey, that's awesome. I can do the rest of it. You get to work towards that deductible. As long as the work is being done, as a property owner, you are still entitled to that ACV recovery and even the replacement cost once it gets done. So keep that in mind. That's actually called subbing back. That is still above board. That's not going to get you in trouble. You got a mailbox, or if you have an interior loss, if it's a water damage or something like that, and the insurance company's paid for a whole lot of content manipulation, moving your crap around, move your own crap. Put it towards whatever your deductible, especially if you're dealing in some of these new wind and hail deductibles that are $5,000 and $10,000 and $20,000. Anything you can do to kind of pitch in and earn some sweat equity, that's still above board. That's still okay. So don't forget about that. But just know the difference. If you're getting all the work done by the contractor, you're going to have to pay for your deductible. You're also going to have to pay for your upgrades. If you're upgrading from a standard shingle to the Mac Daddy, Cadillac of all Cadillac shingles that's out there, you're going to have to pay that difference. A lot of people are like, oh, what about from a 3-tab to a laminate? That doesn't really count. Those are about the same price no matter what. So, it's an upgrade, yeah, but the pricing for the materials all relatively close too. So I wouldn't sweat that one too much if a guy goes, hey, I want to upgrade you, and you go, well, the guy on Facebook says that's bad. No, from a 3-tab to a laminate, that's okay. If you're going to go from a 3-tab to a slate shingle and he says, we'll do it for free, nah, you got to pay for that upgrade. So, and more importantly of all of it, you cannot send that bill to your insurance company and have them pay for your upgrade. They don't owe it for you. They owe you for, like we talked about before, like kind of quality or similar construction, one of the two, depending on what policy you have. And if you're going to sweat back all that equity and you're going to start offsetting your deductible and all that other good stuff, it is going to be paid out per the estimate pricing that's already been agreed to you by your insurance company. So keep those in mind. I know we speak a different language here. If you don't understand this, follow with me the best you can. If you have questions, hit us up after you're done watching the video. We'll answer those for you. And then finally, when we're talking about restoration contractors, beware of the contracts. Never sign a contract if a guy comes into your driveway and says, I need you to sign this piece of paper that lets me get on your roof, or I can't get on there. My boss says he'll fire me if he finds out. Don't do it. That's a bad idea. All too many times they'll go, here, sign this so I can inspect your roof. And you sign it, the next thing you know, you just signed a contract with that guy. Some of them are contingencies. A lot of times they'll have you sign something when they get off of the roof and they go, hey, yeah, you've really got some damage out here. We would love to help walk you through this process and get this thing done for you. If we're going to invest all of our time and all of our assets here, we need you to sign a contingency that says that if all the work gets approved, then we get to do the work. And that's an honest gig. That's not a bad thing. Don't sign it before they get on the roof. You're signing a contract to do replacement of work that you don't even know if you have damage, and the guy's never even seen it before. Be careful doing that. I'm not telling you how to run your house. I'm just saying be careful when you're doing it. So, all that being said, take a couple of minutes to review the laws on contracts. You don't have to be an attorney. If you don't want to mess with it, call somebody that deals with contracts for a living. Call a public adjuster. We're not attorneys, but we deal with contracts every day. Call an attorney. If you got a buddy that's an attorney, say, hey, I want you to check this out. A lot of times attorneys will look at it and go, yeah, you're screwed. Or they'll say, you should be all right. It's going to be a fight, but yeah, you'll be all right. But if you don't know, call somebody that does know. We might be able to help you out. Some consequences, they could be binding if you try to break them. Some of them aren't worth the paper they're written on. I've seen guys write contracts on napkins before. I don't know what's up with that. Just know the difference going into it. It's just like knowing your policy and your insurance claim. Take a couple minutes to educate yourself. A lot of times these restoration deals are very expensive. Do yourself a little bit of favor and spend an hour researching what the parts of this claim are going to be. And like I said, if you're ever unsure, you know how to find us. Go to the website, go to Facebook, subscribe on YouTube, hit us up on that. Google public adjuster, Google insurance attorney. Do the research on that too. If you call a PA, and like I said, we're not attorneys, but we do a lot of this stuff. If we don't know, a lot of public adjusters either have an attorney on staff or we got one on speed dial. They'll answer any of the legal questions that we have. I don't like trying to dabble in law. That's outside my wheelhouse. I'm a policy guy and property guy. So for now, that's all I got. Sorry, video was kind of long. We'll get back to the short ones after this, but this is kind of a big topic. So again, don't forget to check us out, www.spartanclaims.org. Follow the links to like and share us on Facebook. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Tell your friends. Ask the questions. We will be here to guide you. Until then, we'll see you on the next one. Thanks.